Welcome, everybody. The Rebel Stories podcast is dedicated to empowering, validating, and building resilience in women globally, featuring diverse journeys of strength and triumphs. Tonight's episode welcomes Keitha Glace, a trailblazing entrepreneur, digital marketing expert, and AI strategist. I think my lisp is kicking in tonight. With over 28 years of experience, Keitha has helped more than 1,000 businesses worldwide grow and thrive. As the founder of Grab the Edge AI, she empowers small businesses, entrepreneurs, and network marketers to leverage AI driven systems for income growth, streamlined operations, and sustainable success. Beyond her professional achievements, Keitha's personal story resonates deeply. As a proud member of the sandwich generation, she masterfully balances the demands of caring for a 90-year-old parent. Kudos to you. Raising an 11-year-old son, managing her own health, and running a successful business. She champions the belief that well being does not have to be sacrificed for dreams. Her authenticity, humor, and resilience have made her a sought after speaker on topics including work life balance, women in entrepreneurship, wellness, and the future of work. In this episode, Keitha offers candid insights into navigating professional success along with personal responsibilities, staying innovative in a rapidly changing world, and the crucial role of creating systems in both business and life as the key to not just surviving, but truly thriving. A big warm welcome to Keitha Glace.
Thank you, Saito.
So, how are you doing today?
I'm doing like you said in the intro. You gotta just do what you have to do to get through everything. But I'm doing good. I'm blessed. Thank you.
You're welcome. So let's dive right in. Given your 28 years in business and the sheer pace of change, especially with AI, what was a moment early in your career that truly challenged a conventional way of thinking, and how did you push back against it?
Well, one of the things that I can remember in my early days in corporate America, kind of like living the dream, early 20s in New York City. I had a dream job, but I always knew at the back of my mind things would not ever stay the same. And I always used to prepare for a what if from in my early 20s. So when people were running around in the summertime, going to baseball games and having fun, I started going to college part-time and trying to eke out what it is I'm going to do for myself as a career since I was in the administrative field. And I'm so glad I did because it led me to the path of where I am now in digital marketing space. So I made a lot of sacrifices knowing that nothing lasts forever and you have to be prepared for the what ifs and have, as my father always says, plan A, B, or C. So even though a lot of people was saying you're in a good job already, what are you worrying about? Why are you going to school? Why are you doing extra? I always knew that at least I'd have something to fall back on, and so said, so done. That same lovely corporate job I had, which gave me lots of benefits and ability to travel the world, etc., and really grow, it came to an end when, everything started being outsourced to other countries where the resources were cheaper. And so my chapter of my entrepreneurship, even if I was kicked out, but I was able to jump down or jump up really into another role and didn't skip a beat. So that was one of my earliest moments in my career where I can't, as you said, you challenge a conventional way of thinking. You have a job, stay there until you retire, but know that you have to be ready and prepared for twists and turns. And the favorite word of the day is to pivot. So that's my long-winded answer to that.
You know what? I'm waiting for the world to come up with another name instead of pivot. To be honest with you,
I know. I need another word. I don't like it. We're gonna come up with our own word, Sino.
we're going to have to. So I like what you said. That means you're very innovative. But then to until we find another word, we're going to use that word, right?
Yeah.
So since we're pivoting, right? Thinking about the sandwich generation dynamic, what's a rebellious act, big or small, that you've undertaken to prioritize your own well being amidst such demanding responsibilities?
Well, maybe I haven't taken a rebellious action yet. I'm just doing what I have to do. I'm thinking in the back of my brain, nobody prepares us for this. I remember when I was younger, um, having a business, being successful, just being driven. That was my first priority. Wasn't thinking about family, kids, marriage. I got married very late in life, as you know. Had my son at 45. And by that time now, my mom is getting up there in age. You don't plan for these things. And I feel like if you can, I'm a visual person. Think of me in the middle holding a hand of one person and holding the other hand of the other person and being pulled apart. That's how you feel. But you have to keep it together. It's almost like a tug of war because you have to flip hats when you're interacting with one or the other. Um, an 11-year-old wants to go out to the mall and walk around. My knees are hurting from arthritis. I'm going to be 57. And then my mom wants to go to the mall because she's stuck in the house. She wants to get out and get some fresh air, which I can't blame her. So I'm pushing her wheelchair, praying I had a wheelchair, trying to keep up with my son who wants to run around. And mommy, you're too old. Mommy, are your knees hurting today? And or my mom asking me to remind her of different things of where we lived. And it's really a challenge. So I haven't taken a rebellious act as yet. I don't know if I think I try to merge what I can handle in terms of, okay, my mom cannot handle doing the things that I do with my son, and separating those two types of activities. That's what saves me. And I literally have to say, like when my son wants to go to the pool, I tell mommy, look, I'm going to the pool. So I do separate activities with them. Mm-hmm. And that kind of saves me, and my sanity and my stress level stays in control. So I think being a little bit selfish and being prioritizing who gets what hour with me, I think that's my rebellious act.
Well, you know what? When you were talking about it, that's what I was thinking. Simply because we always view rebellion as a bad thing. We never look at it as something that can have positive insights, positive rewards. Yeah. So you doing that, what it does for you is that you definitely get your peace of mind, and like you said, everybody gets their piece of you. Yeah. I still have to carve out when is it my time. And I guess, like you and I were saying, I was up till 3 o'clock this morning. I guess that's my time when everybody's asleep. When everybody's asleep. When everybody's asleep, that's our time. And then we say we don't have enough sleep. That's right. Mm-hmm. So the name Rebel Story suggests a departure from the norm. What's one widely accepted entrepreneurial rule or piece of advice that you've personally found to be counterproductive, and what's your rebel alternative? If you have an answer for that. I thought about that one. You always hear about time management, managing time. Mm-hmm. And when I read through, I do all of my self-development and mentorship with other people in the entrepreneurial space. One of them said very clearly, he hates the term time management. They say successful people and entrepreneurs manage their time. It's not really time you're managing. And when I think about it from that perspective, it makes me feel less anxious. So basically, you have the same amount of time in a day, 24 hours.
is you cannot manage the time. That saying is so incorrect. You can manage, though, the things that you do within that time, right? And so if you look at it from that perspective, then you're not as anxious and making a list of 20 things that you have to do. And at the end of the day at 3 a.m. in the morning, it's like, oh my God, I only got 5 done. And then you beat yourself up, which adds to your stress and all the negative feelings about yourself and not progressing or achieving what you want to achieve within the 24 hours. So it's basically stepping back and saying, okay, I want to achieve 1 or 2 or 3 things within this 24-hour period, and managing what you do and how fast you do it. I came up with a 30-second health reset campaign where I do supplements that really affects and impacts my entire health in 30 seconds. Things that you can do in 30 minutes. I literally break up my days into segments of 30 minutes. Everybody has their own strategy and systems that they use, but that works for me. Because when you think about it, if you waste time looking at TV, like the usual soap operas that people used to look at, right? It's a 30-minute window, Bold and the Beautiful, let's say. But 20 minutes of that is actually the show, and the rest of it is ads. But in 30 minutes, you can do so much if you're really focused and you plan out what you're going to do, and being flexible as well, giving yourself some grace, you can get it done. So it's not a matter of managing time, but it's managing really what you do with that your time.
Right.
Yeah.
I love that analogy.
Yeah.
So you empower businesses to harness AI. How would you say that AI has personally challenged your own perspectives on efficiency, work-life balance, or even the nature of human connection, given your focus on well-being? So that leads us right into like a continuation of what you were just talking about. You get to build on that for us.
Well, I mean, I remember 2-3 years ago, I made a cousin of mine. I called him up. He's a graphic designer. And I said, look, I need a graphic that says the AI is coming, the AI is coming, kind of like, seeing robots and aliens rushing behind a screaming crowd of people, the city's burning down in the back type of thing. I gave him that whole description. And he laughed because, like, literally in 30 minutes, he sent me a couple of options. And he goes, well, Bambi, which is my nickname, Bambi, AI created this for me. And I started laughing. I'm like,
I like that.
This is exactly what it is. But the messaging or the thought process that people who are not prepared for this AI takeover, as I call it, they're panicking, they're screaming, they're running for the hills. But what I'm educating people with is, it's almost like, imagine you have a wild horses running by in the old Western days, and you're a very flexible girl like Seidel, and you jump up on one of those horses and you gallop and control it. The horses are AI. You are the user of AI. You have to utilize this technology, leverage this technology to get you to where you need to go faster. And that is what I try to tell people. Look, don't be afraid of the horses, galloping towards you. Stand to the side, choose which horse you want to jump on and ride it all the way. So if that's your ChatGPT or, there's so many out there, it is a tool. It is a tool that can help you get through all the many tasks you want to do a lot faster. It is not something that's going to take over what you can do, because the thing that people don't understand, AI will only produce based on what it is you feed it. Correct. It cannot create things out of thin air. You have to prompt it. You have to control it. You have to tell it and guide it exactly what you want. It just finesses it and does it faster for you. So it really is, they have to embrace it. It's a happy thing. It's just like back in the day, 28 years ago, the internet allowed me to have a space to grow. Without the internet, there would be no Keitha Glace, Glass Graphics, entrepreneurship, none of that. If we had stayed in the dark ages, so to speak, in quotes, without the internet, what would I have been doing? What would have happened to the world? And so this evolution that we're in right now is just the next phase, just like what the internet brought to the world in our lives. That's exactly what AI is doing right now. And people need to embrace it, utilize it, investigate what it is, which tool works best for them and to achieve what they want, and just run with it.
I think what you're saying will probably resonate with a lot of people, simply because when we hear of those kinds of things, the first thought, and I think the media does feed into that, on every printed material out there will say they're taking our jobs. But we I think we said the same thing when we were getting cellular phones, when we
Yep.
were getting computers,
Yes,
when we
you
were
and
getting,
I, actually, Seidel, you and I remember in
yeah.
Secretarial College in St. Lucia. We remember,
Mhm.
you remember the typewriters we started learning with.
Right.
Those old click, click, your finger gets thrown in between the keys and your
Yeah.
skin comes off of your fingers.
And the
And then
ribbon.
there was the electrical typewriters.
Right.
And it's an evolution of technology. I remember when I worked at the bank, there was the telex machine. Some people be like, "What is that?"
I've heard of it. But I don't know of it
Yeah,
myself. So I'll be in
yeah,
that same
well, yeah.
category.
That's how we used to send monies and wire transfers to people in the banks at a certain time of the day. You couldn't do it before a certain time. It was very archaic, but look at this. You send money with Venmo and PayPal in seconds now
Right.
around the world. So
Yeah.
it's an evolution of technology, and we just have to, harness it, leverage it the best as we can so we can do what we want to do faster.
I hope everybody listening will take a little piece of that and embrace the change. So you talk about
Yeah.
creating systems, right, in business and in life. Can you share a time when a personal system you put in place failed? And what rebel lesson did you learn about adaptability or letting go?
Well, a prime example of systems put in place and it failed. I would say when you when you in general, I would say when you create expectations, you are setting yourself up for disappointment. If you set no expectations, you will never be disappointed. And this is a very hard lesson. I share it with everyone, but it's a hard lesson in life for everyone, because it's hard as a human being not to set expectations.
Right.
It's almost like, well, how can you say don't set expectations? You have goals. You're an entrepreneur. You need to have goals and have that drive you forward. But expectations are a little bit different, in that, as you say, set up a system. You think it's going to work beautifully, and it doesn't. Just in automations and different systems that I started creating. I could say 2 years ago, I looked at a video of that I created, and I was like, "Oh, what was I thinking?" But you learn from it, because then the next iteration of that is going to be faster and better. And systems, I don't think they're set in stone. It's almost like when I build websites for people, I said it's a living, breathing thing. It needs to evolve over time. It's scalable. It's not just boom, you set it, then leave it, because that is not how life is. There's change all the time, and you have to be open to change. So a system that doesn't work initially, it can evolve into one that works because it's adapting to the situation that is currently being felt and experienced and recognized with everyone. That's long-winded answer, but
No, but
yeah.
I think in there there's a little piece in there for everybody that will be applicable to what they're experiencing, the questions that they may have, or what they're going through.
Yes, I think so. I hope so.
I think so. So for someone in the sandwich generation, guilt can be a heavy burden.
Yes.
What kind of self-compassion practices do you employ?
Self-compassion practices. Wow. Okay, that's a
Mm-hmm.
mouthful.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah, my list didn't
well,
kick in, so yeah, we're doing good.
no. It's well, it's that's a difficult one. I I cannot reflect and pause sometimes in the middle of whatever I might be going through. If it's a breakdown of screaming at my son for not doing what I ask him to do when I ask him to do it, or trying to get my mom ready to go to the doctor and she's nervous and stressed and she's stressing me out. In the meantime, I'm trying to keep calm. I just try to stay quiet in between those moments and say, this is only for a time. I think that's my only consolation. Nothing lasts forever. And this is a phase I'm going through. And that pulls me through. It really does. I tell people I may not be able to spout scriptures and Bible verses and all that, but the little tidbits I tell myself to calm me down is let go, let God. I tell myself that all the time. Sometimes it kicks in faster than other times,
Mm-hmm.
but that is what keeps me centered. Pause and just stay still and do not be reactive, you know. And also, I would say to plan ahead, again, not having any expectations, so that you can be flexible to change when you need to change. So, for example, today my mom has her occupational therapist session here. She woke up this morning, she's not feeling well. My whole day is planned out, but with the onus being, okay, this person's coming here, I need to tidy up, get her ready. She's not feeling well. I say, Mommy, look, do you want to postpone this appointment? And she says, yes, be able to be flexible and switch up. So, yes, have plans in mind, but with the flexibility that it may change. So, be prepared for that. That is how I say I give myself that opportunity to pause, to be flexible and reflective in moments in between, in the pockets of your time.
Now I will have to tell you, I have to give you kudos because when I speak to you, and I know, I mean, we've been friends for a while, so when I know you're going through those moments, and I'm one. Well, I don't have any here, but I want to pull the little bit I have out for you, and all I can hear you saying is that it's okay, Seidel. This is only for a time. It won't be like this all the time. And I'm thinking to myself, what's this girl talking about?
Well, it won't always be like that, It's tough. It's tough, but then when you look back, though, it's like, wow, you see how time is flying by.
Mm-hmm.
You remember how you helped me when I navigated my life back into the U.S., into the world. You helped me, Seidel. And it was, we help each other,
Yeah.
and out of the blue, people that you don't even realize are caring about you, they come out of the woodwork and help. And that's what we have to be for each other, because we cannot do this alone. That's very key in all of this that we're talking about. If you don't have a Seidel to call and say, hey girl, how you doing?
Mm-hmm.
To break the monotony of driving over the edge of a cliff. And it just makes your day, because good memories, and it triggers those happy thoughts. So I think it's critical to have that community around you, that one or two really good friends that you don't call every day, but you can out of the blue, hey, how you doing? And it snaps you back into, okay, this person represents a really good space and memories in my life, and it literally puts you back on track. I think it's a real game changer to have that kind of interaction, that type of community around you.
So it's about prioritizing your space, prioritizing your needs, having a healthy relationship, and having a strong community.
Yep, yep, and yeah.
Okay. So if rebel stories were a metaphor for a path less traveled, what's one specific unconditional step you've taken in your career or personal life that has led you to your most personal growth?
Um, Having faith, not being afraid to have a vision, not being afraid to have an end in mind, and don't worry about how to get there, and have that vision or that goal pull you forward. That I think, not I think, I know, and it has been. I've applied this in every aspect of my life. My husband to this day tells me, "Well, Bambi, how did we do this?" Or, I tell him we're going to do X, Y, Z, and he goes, "Well, how are we going to do that?" I'm like, "I don't know yet, but I'll figure it out.
Yeah,
It'll happen," and it does.
that's always been you.
And it does. Out of nothingness comes something, and it just evolves. But having the faith to do that and the courage to do that, um, yes, I'm still hesitant and pause and scared like everybody else when things are going to happen, but change will happen. And knowing the unknown, that sounds kind of crazy, right? Knowing the unknown
Having a sense of the unknown.
Yeah, right? It's and having faith to like jump, something or somebody will catch me. It's not easy, but that I think would be the quintessential of everything for me personally, and what I've experienced time and time again in my life, and I know that's what's going to carry me forward.
Well, you gave us a lot to think about. You gave us a lot. We really appreciate you sharing your insights with us today. Your insights today have been nothing short of inspiring. From challenging, you're welcome. From challenging conventional wisdom early in your career to navigating the complexities of the sandwich generation with such grace and humor, your journey truly embodies the spirit of a rebel.
Thank you. I wear my rebel badge proudly, lady.
As you should, as you should, as we all should.
Yes.
You've shown us how to embrace AI not just as a tool for business growth, but as a catalyst for reevaluating our own perspectives on efficiency and connection. Your openness about personal systems that have failed spectacularly reminds us that adaptability and self compassion are just as crucial as ambition. And your powerful message about rebelling against the expectation of perfection is one we all needed to hear. So,
Well, I'm happy that I could share that with you openly and authentically.
and we definitely appreciate that. Now, I want to share some key takeaways from what I call Keitha's Rebel Wisdom. Challenge the status quo. Don't be afraid to push back against conventional thinking, especially when your instincts tell you there's a better way. Prioritizing your well being, even with rebellious acts, no matter how small they may be. Small acts of self care aren't selfish, they're essential for sustainability. Reinventing the rules. If an entrepreneurial rule doesn't serve you, create your own rebel alternative. AI for life, not just for business. AI can reshape your understanding of efficiency and work life balance, but maintaining human connection remains paramount. Embracing vulnerability. Sharing struggles can transform them into sources of strength and deepen connections. Systems and adaptability. While systems are key, be ready to adapt and even let go when they no longer serve their purpose. Self compassion over perfection. Rebel against the guilt of not being able to do it all perfectly. Self compassion is your superpower. Thank you, Keitha, for sharing your incredible story and your rebel insights with us today. Your authenticity and wisdom are a powerful reminder that it is possible to achieve personal and professional success without sacrificing personal well being. To our listeners, what was your biggest rebel takeaway from Keitha's story today? Join the conversation, join the revolution, and share your thoughts. I'll also have Keitha's contact information in our bio. Until next time, peace, love, and rebel on. Keitha, one thing you'd like to say to our listeners?
You said it well. Rebel on. Thank you, Excital.
Thanks for being with us.